So I thought I'll do my talk on the floor here because there's no light, and my mum and my uncle and my aunt are in the living room getting themselves acquainted. So my experience traveling here in Jakarta. So where do I start? So I live near East Croydon Station, which is in southeast London, to Heathrow, and I took the SL7 bus, which takes about 2 hours to get to Heathrow, and there's no point of staying in East Croydon if you're landing in Heathrow. You might as well go to Gatwick instead if you're going to stay in East Croydon. But this is another topic. The SL7 bus, I'll talk about that later on in another video. So I wanted to review about Heathrow Airport, one of the busiest, well actually the busiest airport in London. And it was about 10-15 years ago that I went to Heathrow, and 15 years ago it was very busy, disorganized and hectic and stressful because there's so many connections to different parts of the world, and and I imagined it to be a horrible place to be when you're traveling. But when I arrived there, everything was smooth and everything was organized. So I arrived at the airport, and I saw the coach station first, and that will take you to other parts of the UK. I saw a self-service ticket booth where you can buy tickets from the machine now, and you know that's taking over the human race, self-service ticket stations. And I thought that was very cool because I never seen that before in Heathrow. So there were a lot of people sitting in the middle of that area where they were waiting for the coach, and there were about 50 seats and people were waiting, and there were no seats available, but there weren't a lot of people standing around, they were just sitting. So I went up to go upstairs to wait to board, because I was given an e-boarding pass, and we checked in online with Emirates airline. We always go with Emirates every time we go to Jakarta, and what I found confusing was that even though we already checked in online, we had to check in again, and we had to scan our passports as well, which was a little bit confusing to me. If you know the drill, what it's like going with Emirates, let me know, because I didn't understand why we had to check in twice when we already checked in online. And as well, it was a self-service machine. It was straightforward, scanned in our passports, and we have a baby, and they said that if you have a baby or a child, it doesn't recognize the passport. I don't know why, but it's not a big deal for us. We sorted it out in the end. Anyway, we wanted to check in our bags, and there were no one at the desk. Usually people would check in your bags at the desk, but they were all like machines in a row, and about 2 or 3 members of staff helping you if you have any problems with the machine. And the instructions were straightforward from the machines. So they asked you to weigh our heaviest bag or heaviest luggage first and the lightest luggage last. It was straightforward. And I've seen a few people asking questions about the machines, but I think with self-service tickets, that's going to take over employees working in airports or anywhere, and I think that AI is going to take over, and that's really scary. But that's just life, and I don't really know what the future will hold in 50 years time traveling. If it's already like this now, then what is it going to be like in 50 years? But I believe that AI is not going to replace human emotions and human opinions. It's just going to help us out with ease of life. So that's my review on Heathrow Airport. So on the flight, as we have a baby, a 1-year-old, actually 15-month-old, we were sitting at the front of the economy class, and the first Airbus that we got on was the A380. It was a double-decker plane, and at the top, I think that was the first class and business, and we were directed to the left, which is usually the first class if it's not a double-decker. And the double-decker bus, there was a lot of leg space. If you have a baby, you're quite lucky sitting at the front. But the thing is, my sister wanted a bassinet for my niece, my 1-year-old niece, and she's quite a small baby, and the bassinet is quite small, and they said for health and safety reasons her feet has to fit in the bassinet. It can't hang out of the bassinet because that just won't work. And they said that the bassinet is for up to 2 years old, but I don't believe that is true. I think the bassinet is only for newborn babies. So that's a review of the bassinet. And the second Airbus that we got on was from Dubai, because we actually transited, and it was a normal airplane, and there weren't a lot of leg space, but I didn't mind. It wasn't like an issue for me. A Wi-Fi you have to pay. Unless you're a member, you get all the perks. We're not members because we hardly go back to Jakarta. If we were to go back every year, then I could understand, but we aren't members, so we had to pay for Wi-Fi, so I had to turn on my aeroplane mode. And the food was good, excellent. I didn't like the chicken. The chicken was a bit dry though, maybe because I don't really like chicken anyway. I prefer the beef, but we went with Qatar last year to Jakarta, and I think Qatar is better because check-in was straightforward, the food was nice, the service was good, and I can't review what it's like with a baby with Qatar because we didn't come with a baby last year. But I'm not saying that Emirates is a bad airline. I love Emirates, but I think that just a tiny improvement should be made with the check-in system. from Heathrow. I don't know if it's an Emirates thing or Heathrow airport thing, but yeah, so when we landed at Soekarno Hatta airport in Jakarta, everything was fine. And that's my review of Heathrow airport and my travel in Jakarta, before, during and after. And yeah, and I'll take you around my town in a second. Okay, I'll see you soon then. Oh, make sure you follow, like, comment and subscribe.